Tinubu will be speaking about illicit financial flows at the UN General Assembly in New York. You can't make this up. Well, he has the experience, so he must have given a lot of insights to the speechwriter. It will be interesting to see what he will say in that address. But it's all part of the whitewashing of his image. It all started before the election when he was saying and bragging that he will win the election, that nothing will prevent him from winning the election. Many people thought that he was the way politicians talk, that he was just campaigning. After all the other candidates, when they were asked, they always expressed their hope that they will win the election. But after the election, people now understood the confidence that Tinubu had going into the election. Now, at the courts, the judges have also validated the fraud that they call election. So this is part of all the whitewashing. And immediately, the judgment was delivered. They couldn't help themselves. They started parroting, this one didn't win, this one didn't win. He was trying to deceive Nigerians. He was doing that, he was doing that. It's a pity that Wole Soyinka is part of the whitewashing. He has suddenly gone mute and possibly blind about all that is wrong with Nigeria at the moment. All the challenges Nigeria is currently facing, he has nothing to say about this. He has something to say about who won election or who didn't win. They are rewriting history before our very own eyes. Since the court have helped them to validate the fraud, they are now telling you that nothing was wrong with the election. All of a sudden, the judges are telling Nigerians that what matters in election dispute are political party agent copies, whereas superior copies were submitted in court, copies that were used by INEC to conduct the election. They found reasons to trash all the evidence. They didn't even touch them. All these efforts are to whitewash what is black, to become white in our very own eyes. And for those saying that Peter Obi and Atiku appealing to the Supreme Court is a waste of time, no, it's not a waste of time. Let them validate the fraud. Supreme Court is not just the highest court in Nigeria, they're also a policy court. Whatever they decide on will affect Nigerians' policy on that particular subject going forward. If it is the election, if it relates to the economy, whatever, we'll continue obeying that law as judicial precedents going forward. So let them conduct the final validation. Because if they allow it to die at the appeal court, in future, many people will refer back and say, the Supreme Court never decided on this. Let's try again. So let the Supreme Court join the whitewashing of the image of someone we know his true character. A lot of people are disillusioned. They are asking what will happen after the Supreme Court validates the fraud. What will happen? What will do this? What will do that? Some are even calling for a military coup. Military coup is not an option for Nigeria right now because look at our history. They always do more harm to the polity than even the politicians. We've never had a proper revolution through the military like other countries like Ghana, Burkina Faso, and others. So military is not an option. Besides, they are in bed with the politicians. They won't allow it. A little update about Atiku versus Chicago State University and Tinubu at the district court in Chicago. Today will be the last day for the court to decide on the matter. And if the decision comes out to be positive, Chicago State University will have a few hours to answer the questions that Atiku's counsel is seeking, so that Atiku can include it before filing the appeal at the Supreme Court, because the deadline will be tomorrow midnight. This will be very important for Atiku so that no one will tell him you didn't front load the evidence before filing the appeal and all the procedural errors they can cite to trash the matter. Not that they are hoping that anything can come out of it from the Supreme Court, but let it be on record that all this information were put before the court in Nigeria and the judiciary failed Nigerians. That's the most important thing. And even if Atiku ends up not front-loading the evidence before the Supreme Court, after receiving that information from Chicago State University, if he eventually receives them, he can go on and call an international press conference and announce to the world what he received from Chicago State University. So we will all bear the shame as Nigerians, whether the Supreme Court or the judiciary wants to do their job or not. All of us will bear the collective shame. Thanks for watching.